Welcome, welcome, everyone. This is Napah, Shadah, and we are about to do a wonderful stream with the beloved Valiyah. Valiyah, are you there, sis? I don't know if you can even hear me. Valiyah Nazr, you hear me okay, sis? No, she can't. Can you hear me, Rabbi Lewis?
Yep.
Yeah. I was trying. I'm sorry. Forgive me for taking so long to start, but I was having some. I don't know if it's StreamYard. I don't know if it's StreamYard, but it is. Tech difficulties, because Val, we can't hear you, sweetie, sis. Now I hear you a little bit, but it's real struggling. It's like it sounds like you're talking through like
okay.
paper envelope. Much better. Okay, so welcome everyone to a stream of This is Napah Shadah, and we are going to talk about all that we can: pandemic, economics. I have the brother Rabbi Lewis on. He is a financial connoisseur. Is that what we should call you, brother?
That'd be fair to say.
That's a great. Okay, so first up, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. I'm going to start with Val, and then we get to the brother. Val, go ahead and introduce yourself, sis.
Hello, I'm Valiyah, Nazr.
And
you hear me? Okay, I'm like, okay.
You like, can y'all hear me? Yes.
Right. Is this mic on? No.
Shalom, Dan. Yeah, your mic's on. Go ahead.
You can follow me on Facebook at Valiyah Nazr.
All right, this is my wonderful co-host. She's having she's on the road, y'all. She's out in the field right now.
Yes.
So anyway, okay. Yes, that's important. So, Rabbi Lewis, we have Prince Lewis. Rabbi Lewis, go ahead and unmute your mic and introduce yourself. Let people know who you are, what you're doing, what you're up to.
Definitely Islam. I bear witness there's no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger. My name is Rabbi Lewis, aka Louis Islam. Peace to the audience. If you ever heard of me, probably heard of me from the Soul Vision Debate League or from the Shield Squad, the show Cherry Love Show. I'm a published author. I'm an historian. I'm a Shia Muslim and stock investor, to say the least.
All right. Yeah, we're going to talk about all that stuff, right? That's where did you say something, Val?
No, I didn't say anything. I have muted my mic so I can listen to the brother.
Perfect. All right. So I invited a couple of her. What is wrong with me? And I'm not even tonight. I'm just sipping on some regular lemon ginger tea. So yeah, sorry about that. We might have a couple other guests rolling through, but for now, this is plenty. So you talked about. You're an author, and where should we start, Rabbi Lewis? Because I want you to start so we can just vibe off of you, since this is a stream that I wanted to do to really focus on how our economy is being affected by this quarantine and essentially the pandemic. So let's get the ball rolling with your side. Like, you're an author and you've written books about finance. Tell us about some of that, and also touch on, start out touching on what do you think, what's your take on how the economy is being affected as we speak?
Yeah, definitely. Inshallah. Mashallah. Again, my name is Rabbi Lewis. I'm a professional stock investor. I remember when there's a guy named Ali Muhammad, probably heard from the conscious community. I remember back in 2011, he did a show and he was talking about how the Mayans, everybody thought the world was going to end in 2012, but the Mayans were really talking about 2020. I remember he said that back in 2000. I was a part of ARNA at the time, Aboriginal Republic of North America. It was called ISIS back then, International Society of Indigenous Sovereigns. I was a part of that group for years. I remember Ali saying that, and it had been a while, so it gave me some incentive to go check what he had to say a couple weeks ago. And sure enough, he did some videos on this. So when the Mayans were talking about 2012, they were really talking about 2020. He actually deciphered the calendar, which I found interesting.
So what you're tying? So we're not really. Does that have to do with the finance? Are you talking about like the prophecy? Like, what do you think about how our economy is being affected? Besides what the obvious is that it's a hard hit. But what is your as, let's say, if you were a financial doctor, what's your prognosis? What do you see for us as individuals, not just like as the whole, but individuals like Val, her family, her, me, you? How are we affected, short term and long term? And do you have some advice on how we should go about this? I know you want to talk about the prophecy stuff, but you did say you have a book. You have this book out, right? Tell me, what's the title of the book again? The new book.
So the link to the book is in the description box below. It's called Homework for Hustlers: Think Rich, Get Rich, an Introduction to Investment Banking. This book is for CPA, certified public accountants, and MBA, Masters of Business students who are it's a PhD level reading, but easy to read for beginners who just want to start trading in the stock market and learn to open a business.
Okay, so now when you say hustlers, is that everybody? You said when you say CPAs and MBAs, you cut off like, I don't know, you guys, what, 70% of the population? Because I'm not a CPA, but I'm a hustler. Are you a hustler, Val? Val?
I'm here. I'm most definitely a hustler. And I actually have taken a lot of accounting classes, so I understand the CPA. I'm just not one.
Yeah, definitely. Right. So if you're a hustler, this book is for you. This book is it's a PhD level read. It's for professionals, but it's easy to read for beginners. So people who just want to get started trading, open up everybody's at home in quarantine. You want to open up an at-home business, this book's for you.
Wonderful. That's what I want to hear. So tell me, would this book help me during these times where, okay, for instance, everybody is affected by this. It doesn't matter what income bracket you're in. We're all affected. It's hitting us hard. So what I'm trying to get the ball rolling on with the discussion is, what is your professional take on how economy has changed, how commerce has changed in a blink of an eye, basically in a matter of months? What's your take on that, Rabbi?
Definitely. So let's get started. There's a company called Instagram, who was started by a guy named Kevin Systrom. Needs your introduction. He started a company called Instagram. If under rock, you've heard of Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's give you some perspective. The company Coca-Cola has 2.5 million followers on Instagram. The rapper actor Nicki Minaj has over 95 million followers. So you can see that Coca-Cola doesn't know what they're doing in terms of social media marketing. So there's multiple trends that you need to catch. We call it trend stacking. Shout out to my mentor Ty Lopez and Alex Murr, PhD, who just acquired the company Dress Barn. Hold on a second. Okay, great. I'm coming through good. Okay, he just shout out to Ty Lopez and Alex Murr. If you're listening, they just bought Dress Barn. They just acquired the company Dress Barn. So what you're gonna learn, the new social media marketing trend. Learn how companies like Kylie Cosmetics became billion-dollar companies catching the social media marketing trend. Kylie Jenner started a company called Kylie Cosmetics and became a billionaire. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, brother. What does this have to do with right now, though? Let's talk about us and now with the COVID. What do you think? Like, how are you? Let me ask Val. Let me move it to Val. Val. And then we'll bring it back. We'll all jump in. Val, what is going on with you? How are you affected from a commercial standpoint, from a business standpoint, from a finance standpoint? How is it affecting you? Not to get too detailed and deep into your business, but tell us what's your take on it?
Well, I'm not an essential worker, so therefore, that's why I'm at home making masks and
Right.
homeschooling my child to be able to get a little bit of extra money in. I mean, we're gonna get help with, the stimulus checks, in order to continue to, provide food and so on and so forth. Luckily, I'm not just a one income home. It's, two of us. So
Mm-hmm.
he's still working, and we have to just make sure that we're doing what we have to do, covering the bills that we have to cover, and anything that's non-essential we just pretty much don't even think about, because we don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know how long he's going to continue to be to have to go to work. So in with that aspect, just the considering everything, just trying to set aside money, trying to still have that nest egg, pay the bills, and do just the necessary things, you know, uh, to maintain. And I
Right.
know it's a lot of families like that. I mean, I'm married, so there's is two incomes, whereas I know a lot of people are not, and they're not
Right.
even non-essential employees, and they're not working, so there's no money. And I don't know how they're getting along. I mean, I know a few, and they're asking for state help. They're going to food pantries. They're doing what they have to do to get by. The one thing I can say about brothers and sisters, we know how to survive.
Exactly. Yes, you have. That's a good point, sis. You brought up a great point. I was thinking about this today, how so many of us have already been in, like, this is not really like a, I mean, yes, it is a hit because a lot of people are working and doing paycheck to paycheck, but and a lot of people are relying on what jobs they have out in in the community, like in our society. Everyone goes to their job, they sit down at their desk, they do their whatever their employer says. But when everything locks down and shuts down and we're put inside, our people have already had to struggle. That's so you had a great point. Before I lose this thought, we've already known struggle. So it's even though a lot of negative things are encoded into our DNA, I'll venture out to say that the struggle is encoded into us. Uh-oh, we lost Lewis.
No.
He must have fallen off. He'll be back. But the struggle is encoded in our DNA. And I think because of that, we are very well equipped to bear down, cut back, and get ready to buckle up. And there was something else I was going to say, but yeah, no, that's a great point. It's a great point, sis. That we're not unfamiliar with struggle. I've seen different people of different cultures, different ethnicities. I'm trying to keep this very user friendly because I don't want to have to take this stream down and put it on private. I've had to do that a couple of times, you guys.
But we got to keep it real.
I've seen some people of the lighter flavor, Caucasian people. The guy stock market crashes and he's up there, even though he's got a mansion somewhere. He's jumping off the rooftop. So we're okay with struggle.
Yes, we are. We're used to it. In fact.
Yeah, we're used to it. And I'm gonna hand this over to both of you. If you want to jump in, Lewis. A lot of the people who have been home already, not just talking about single mothers that have been mocked. Now I got to do it. I got to do it because this isn't just about economics. We're talking about the pandemic. We're talking about Black love, Black issues, Black families. A lot of sisters are out there abusing the system, but there are some women there at home taking care of their children, and they are getting, the government has been taking care of their finance side. So because when you said that going to the food pantries and relying on the government, now it's almost like some people, not all of us, because some of us, you have your significant other, thankfully, and I'm working for myself anyway. So, but some people, they lost their jobs and now they're on the same level field as the people they mocked. You know what I'm saying? I got to do this because I've heard a lot of sisters be mocked. Welfare queen, Project Welfare Thought, baby, 3 baby daddies. And I got to say that because I saw a brother just because I said I was once on another channel. And just because I'm a single woman, I'm divorced, just because I'm a single Black woman with children, this particular brother was like, "Oh, you're food stamps, and oh, haha, you must be on welfare." So now a lot of those people who mock people that are at home getting government, they're sitting there waiting for their stimulus check, wondering what am I going to do. So it's interesting. You get what I'm saying? Can I throw that out there for discussion? Because you don't have to agree, but that crossed my mind. Go on. Anybody want to touch on that, or y'all, is that too much for you guys?
Oh,
Is that
I
about doubt? Val, you gotta,
completely,
you're my co-pilot, sis. You gotta reel me back and say, no, I'm seeing this
I
going on private, sis.
girl, I completely agree with that because it's like everybody is, that either you're gonna use the system for whatever reasoning because somebody's not paying something or you don't feel like getting a job, but everybody that's on there is not like trying to use the system to feed.
Right. Go on.
You know what I mean?
Everybody
Like
on there isn't getting $1,000, and scamming. They really are struggling, right, sis? Hey,
exactly. Exactly. It's
welcome,
the
Rob.
men that are struggling on it,
Thank
and the
you.
thing is, they
That's
don't
true.
all look like us. The majority of people that are on the assistance don't look like us. They're not melanated.
Yes, girl. I love how you see that. That's why I love my coat. I love you, Val, because we got to keep it in the lane. Because I might,
I
I
know.
have a lot of people. Now, I'm not talking about anybody's race, but we're obviously talking about our people in the sense of what we experience. But I'm not trying to bash anybody's race. That's not what this stream is about. But it is about real issues. We're not going to sugarcoat, but we're going to be conscious to not try to offend. Hey, Rob Rack is on the panel. Everyone, introduce yourself, Rob.
Hello, what's going on? Peace, everybody. Peace. Let me see, Val.
Hey,
Let me grab my Lewis. Peace.
you
What's
sound
up,
like you
brother?
just got out of bed. Hey,
Huh?
Rob, we just started the stream. We're just talking a little bit about how we're all affected by the quarantine, essentially the pandemic, and just the finance side. And you know Val brought up a great point that we've already had a struggle, like as a people. We've already known adversity when it comes to the pocket and the bank account and the you know what do I do here? I don't see anything coming down the line, right, sis?
Yes,
So
exactly.
you want to weigh in on that, brother?
How? Let me see. So, how like black people, like sometimes depending on when some black people is, or just because we're being so treated a certain way that we don't know when there's a epidemic or when people ain't hiring or when unemployment is high or stuff like this because it seems like they ain't never trying to hire, but that's a that's something that's reserved for I guess a particular we type of people on the planet, or that's very under some type of subjugation. But yeah, it is, like, to me, when there's like we know how to make do, because we've always had the least. So
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know that's yeah. It's like I remember doing things like it's like there's a lot of things that you could be doing. Anybody could be doing during stuff like these times, like teaching your kids or something how to like when I was younger, we couldn't get pizza when we asked for it. That was like a treat. So we
Yeah.
used to make pizza out of bread, ketchup,
Yeah.
cheese.
Keep
You know what I'm
going,
saying? And yeah, so we know. So when they don't have certain things we can make do. You have other people who they're so used to being privileged, being in a place like this that any like kids are complaining, just stuff like wow, like because you don't have HBO Plus, your life is ruined. You couldn't have been growing up during my time. You know what I mean? So, well,
So,
never know, but
mhm.
still, yeah, we made do. We wasn't, we were outside. That generation, we had to go outside.
Yeah. So
But
you
this
agree
is
with her?
but
Yeah.
yeah. And I was gonna say well, okay, no, I'm gonna just go on mute because I gotta get my other phone and
Yeah, but yeah,
I
we'll
gotta
take it over. So
pro
brother,
not
it's interesting. That's a good point, brother. Like everything for us, pizza was I remember that. Like I
Yeah.
hate to say it, but my family used to give me McDonald's. No, McDonald's was not garbage food back when I was a little kid.
Right.
McDonald's was like a treat. Like what? You
Yes.
know, now fast food is not like that anymore. It's like ew. But
Right.
remember that it was like a treat. So this is that's the advantage that we have, the edge, and we have to hold on to that,
Um.
right? So you there? You still there? Yeah,
yeah.
Rabbi Lewis might have. Whoops, so brother. So do you agree? Like, do you agree that we've already, or do you think it? Do you see it a different way, Lewis?
Well, I mean, I grew up in the ghetto, so to speak, as well. But I was a private school kid. Like I went to private school my whole life because my family was well-to-do Negroes. And ain't for like a better word, excuse my language. They were well-to-do Negroes. So
He
I
must
went
not
to
be
private.
there.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
I hear
there.
you.
We can hear you now.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear him. I think it's yours, Val. I was hearing him.
Okay, yeah, like I said, I grew up in the ghetto, but like I said, I was a private school kid. My family was well-to-do Negroes. Negroes who drove, being, Mercedes Benz and stuff like that. So, I definitely can relate to that. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Okay, so basically, sorry about that, you guys. Somebody, I got to put this up here. Shout out to the sister Ivory Scale. Oh, that's my sister Ivory Scales. I haven't seen you. Wow, you're so pretty, sis. I put your comment up here, sis, but I didn't even know that was you. This is this is a good sister right here, Val. We have to bring this sister on to Sister Sip Down.
Okay.
She has a lot to offer.
It's just Napah.
Yes.
If I can say this one thing. Again, my name is Rabbi Lewis again. Islam, the brother Rob Rat. Good to hear you, brother. It's been a while. Um, okay. In my new book, you're gonna okay. Anyway, I'm on deck though.
You are like sounding like you're speaking a different language. I don't know about you guys, but it sounded chopped up a little bit. Did you guys hear him or no?
Yes, I can hear him. But I thought
Yeah,
he
I
did.
can hear you.
Second.
What happened, brother?
Can you guys hear me?
I
Yes.
hear you now.
Rob, what's up, brother? How's it been going, brother?
I'm dropping the link into the chat. Oops, that is
What's
not
going
the
on,
link.
Rabbi?
Todd,
Just
don't
chilling.
stop. Sis. I'm like, I'm dropping the link into the chat. No, I'm not. That wasn't the link, but this is the link. I'm going to drop the link into the chat if anyone wants to jump on and just weigh in. Just say hello, jump in, and you don't have to stay on, but this is an open forum tonight for the family on the East Coast. Shout out to my family on the East Coast that are staying up late. Shout out to the House of Consciousness, to Sonetter, the King of Consciousness, Sonetter the God. Much love to Sonetter, much love and respect. So shout out to the family out there. Yeah, this is a good topic. I like the way it's going. Val, you're such a genius. she's so effortless with hers. She just was like, that's a great point, sis. Like our people know the struggle, but it's still scary because the whole world has been shut down. But you know what I say? I shouldn't say scary because really I'm faking the funk. It's not really scary for me because fear takes you over. When you start to fear, you already are losing the battle. You know how animals can smell fear? Please tell me you guys can hear me, that I'm not.
Oh yeah,
No
I
one.
can hear you.
Yeah, what we were supposed to just interrupt you or something?
Okay, see, Rob, you know what? Yeah, somebody like give me a amen, girl. I need to hear something coming back from you guys.
Well, we was trying to mute our mic so that we didn't
No,
interrupt.
I'm not the
Oh my
type of host. I don't need you to mute your mic because let me tell you why. Sometimes I'll be going off the deep into the deep end, and then you guys, somebody be like, "Oh God, no, Napah, don't." I need to gauge what I'm saying because you know Val, you
I
know,
know. I
girl.
know, because I'll send you a text like, hey, hey, hey.
Hey, sis, reel it in, sis. This is rated PG-13, not rated R. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, so what do you brothers think? Like, you brothers think that fear. I think we had Rob, you and I had a conversation on one of your streams about fear. Wasn't that how, or what? It was a debate. I think fear makes the situation worse. What do you guys? Come on, weigh in. What do you think? Does
Fear.
fear affect your bag?
I feel like fear affects you and it does paralyze you because it's paralyzed me before where okay, my son trying to weigh in.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's yep. I like that. Hey, let the little man. If the little man has, the children will lead us. He might
oh,
be saying something deep.
right. So
What did he
it was
say? I'm just curious. What did he say, sis?
he was repeating after me saying that yeah, it does.
Oh, I love it. Don't you love it? I
Yes.
love
But yeah, it can definitely, just stop you in your tracks, make you not want to do anything. This pandemic can stop us in our tracks, but we still have to live. We still have to feed our children. We still have to maintain our households, so on and so forth. So we can't let it take over us or defeat us. We have to, take charge and do the best that we can do, even if we have just a little bit.
I know that's right. Yeah, shout out to the brother, the Hitman Heart and Paul G.
Mm. Mhm.
So yeah, definitely. No Saint. I like how No Saint. Did you see his comment? I just got to get this back up on the screen. You see the brother what he said about that pizza, Rob? If you're still there, bread, prego, and cheese.
Yes,
We
I see
we
that.
we didn't have microwaves in my house. We had convection ovens and
Yeah.
toaster
Toaster oven.
ovens.
Yes,
Yeah.
toaster oven.
I said convection ovens because I'm really like into like the food channel and yeah. So yeah, the food channel. So yeah, bread and prego. No, but I'm not gonna I feel like I'm bragging, but I gotta just be real. We didn't use bread. Like we really knew how to make dough when we were little because my mom was always
Hmm.
baking pies, right, Val?
Yes, yes. We
So
knew how to make the cinnamon rolls, the regular bread. Oh,
oh my gosh,
regular
Val, you
rolls.
always make me trip out. That's exactly what we made. My mom would call them lady fingers.
Ooh.
She would make
Oh,
the
yes.
cinnamon
Oh,
strips
yes.
of did your mom call them lady fingers?
Yes, and my grandma did too. That's why I'm like, oh my God, I
You are
remember that.
freaking me out. That's why this is my girl right here. Oh my God, Val. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
we made our pizza dough real. Like we didn't have any bread. No. I mean we had bread, but we didn't use bread. But
Right,
yeah, so like we're stuck up, right, Val? Like sorry
right.
guys. We
Yeah. I'm sorry, not sorry.
sorry, not sorry. So yeah, I didn't want to take the show over with just me and the sister. You brothers just you jump in. This is like double dutch.
My connection is bad, and I'm doing my new phone. I got to switch because this phone is kind of
Oh,
broke.
all
My
right,
other
brother.
phone. I'm here, but I'm quiet. I'm listening though. Give
Awesome.
me a second.
So, oh, there's Yashar. Come on in, brother. I put the link in here. Shalom to the General Yashar. Yeah, so because that's the thing about us. I want to get back to, you're right. It's not just our people that are on assistance, but with
Right.
folks, I agree with you 100%. And we have to do a stream on that. But let me put this up on the summer jam. But what I want to say is there are people now that are like, oh, I see what it's like with those people that were struggling on assistance.
Yeah, they're starting to finally see us.
Yes, worrying about things. This is from No Saint. Worrying about a piece to No Saint. Worrying about things you can't control is a waste of time. Exactly. I wasted decades of my life fearing things I had no control over. Not any
Mhm.
longer. Oh, I gotta give this person
Yeah.
a. That is
Yeah.
beautiful.
I love
There's a.
Saint.
Go
That
ahead.
is for
Go ahead.
sure.
Sis.
That's for sure. Stuff you can't control.
Yeah. You know that saying that well, my mom used to say, my mom still says it, and her mom, she said, let me get it. It's if you're going to pray, then don't worry. But if you're going to worry,
Then
then
don't.
don't pray.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
think I said it right, right?
Yeah, you said it exactly right. Because
Yeah.
that's just, yeah, because what is it? Faith without works is dead. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. Because you can't be worrying if he said he would do it. I'm not trying to try. I told Rabbi Lewis, he's probably sitting back saying, she said this wasn't going to be religious. No, I said, no, but we got to talk about faith. If we're going to talk about not having fear, you have to have faith. Go ahead,
They go
sis.
hand in hand. They go
Hand in
hand
hand.
in hand.
Yeah. And this isn't about a battle. I notice like a lot of times with our people, and I say our people, this might be with everybody. So with everybody, when you bring up faith, a lot of people get guarded and they start to get defensive, like because they feel like, oh, somebody's about to start infringing upon my faith and my beliefs and pushing their beliefs onto me. That's not the point. We already know we're okay in where we stand. Val, I know you believe how I believe as far as the faith and our God. I say God. I don't believe that He's God, but I'm saying it for the people, right? I believe the Most High, Almighty Power. But what I'm saying is our God is the same. But anybody else, like Rabbi Lewis, I'm gonna let you weigh in since you're here. You have a different power, but what do you think? You believe in a different God than I believe in, right? But you still have faith. Can you weigh in on that or no?
Yeah, well, Proverbs was 11-14 says the richest profit not in the day of wrath, but righteous delivers from judgment. So the Bible says the richest is not going to profit you in the day of wrath.
Oh,
Biblical, you know.
so you do believe in the same power that I believe in? Okay.
Yeah, I
Sometimes I
think
don't, I
there's
don't
the
know with you, Lewis, because you'll be confusing me sometimes.
what is it? There's certainly a through line between Islam and Judaism or Hebrew Israelitism. That I think it's like a invisible through line, for lack of a better words. Like in Islamic culture, it's looked down upon to have a female child, right? A lot of people look down. Can you hear me?
Yes.
A lot of people look down on that, but the Bible actually says the same thing. It's in the Apocrypha. It says that to have a son is profitable. To have a daughter is I think the word to have a daughter is a loss. Now
Oh
the
Lord.
it says in the Apocrypha, it says to have a daughter is a loss. Now the KJV scribes saw that and said, "Oh shoot." So they added the word foolish to the verse in brackets. But if something's in brackets, that means it was added to the text. It's a redaction. So it should read to have a daughter is a loss. But then it says in the KJV to have a foolish daughter is a loss. But somebody added foolish to the text. Okay? So even in the Hebrew custom, it was looked upon to have female children as well. So there's something that black people probably never heard of.
Okay, now we gotta go there. See, I didn't even want to do all this. Can we back up a little bit on where did we, anybody, did you get the license plate to that, Val? Did anybody get the license plate to
The
that?
life. Oh,
What'd
why
you
are
have?
you going in and out?
Wait a minute. Lewis, why did you bring that up about women and like what that scripture? I don't understand.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, brother,
Yeah.
please clarify, because I know you just tell me, go back to what you said.
Yeah, I'm not a sexist at all. Can you guys hear me?
No, I didn't call you his brother. I didn't say anything. I want you to clarify.
Yeah, so a lot of Black Hebrew Israelites use the Apocrypha, right? But don't know their own book. The Apocrypha says to have a daughter is a loss. The KJV scribes saw that and said, "Oh my God!" So they added the word "foolish daughter" is the loss, meaning,
How did we get on this, though? I don't get it.
oh,
Number one, before I start clarifying that,
right.
how did we get on that? What happened? We
Because you said you made a statement, sis. You said you serve a different God, but we have similarities. And I'm saying
Oh,
there's similarities between my culture and your culture. I'm a Shia Muslim. I'm from the Shia sect. There's a through line. There's similarities in both cultures, in Islam and Hebrew Israelites. That's how we kind of went down that road.
okay, but you do understand. Let's get the scripture first. Let's get that now, because I don't want this to be like a religious stream, but I do need to talk about what you just said, because that can be very misleading, and that makes sense of why uh countries in the Middle East that follow Sharia law, that they are abusing women, even marrying 9-year-old girls to grown men in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. So I'm glad you brought this up. I don't want to use a lot of time on it, but I can't just leave this behind. So first, let's go to that scripture you were talking about. Can you give me the scripture and where I can like pull it up on the screen share? And this isn't an attack on the brother, but we're gonna pick this apart and try to get to the bottom of it. Okay? Is that all right with you, Lewis? Can you give me that? Are you there,
Yeah, I'm here.
brother? Okay, so in Proverbs, right? You said.
I'm in the Apocrypha.
Oh, you're in the Apocrypha. Okay, where? What book?
Let me pull it up, guys. Excuse me, I wasn't prepared to pull
Oh,
it.
you
Hold on.
want to screen share it? You screen share it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Nah, I'm on my phone. I can't screen share. Hold on.
Okay, that's fine.
Let me get it real
So,
quick. One second.
no problem. So because just from hearing it, like if what you're saying is true, and it was if it was originally saying a loss, I'm sure it means that the woman leaves the father's home, right? Or possibly, I'm not. I gotta find out what that is. Val, how you doing over there?
I'm good. I'm listening because I'm really interested in exactly what it says and the meaning of it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. No saint said shots fired. You know, why does it always have to? I feel like what's the movie? What's the movie where Al Pacino said, "Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in."
Yep. Yeah.
Shalom to you, General Yashar. How are you, brother? Yashar.
Hey, shalom, family. How y'all feeling?
Shalom.
Shalom. Val, have you been introduced to the General Yashar?
No, I haven't.
Okay, Yashar, this is my sister Valiyah, and this is also Yashar is also in the tanks. Yahweh. Gosh, I can't even think. Lord, say it, Yashar. What is the
Yahweh
thing?
War Machine.
Yeah, yes, Yahweh War
Oh,
Machine.
okay. I know exactly. Okay, Yara is my husband.
Yeah, this is
Hey,
Yara's
shalom.
Isha. This is Yara's wife.
Shalom, shalom. Nice to
Oh,
meet you.
nice to meet you as well. I've heard the name. I just never was able to put the face with the name.
Okay, okay.
I know that General Yashar got up here to bang on Lewis. So Yashar, just want to
I'm
let
just,
you.
I'm just waiting on Lewis to bring out that scripture because I'm about to
Yeah.
tear that up.
Okay. 'Cause I don't get Lewis. You know General Yashar, right?
Yeah, Islam, bro.
All right. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
y'all you
shalom.
family. Let's remember that we're trying to keep this people. Val. Val, remember what I told you when I sent you the link? I'm like, this is gonna be a nice, smooth, peaceful build.
Yes, you did.
So we're
Girl,
not. Are we bringing out the war machine? What's up?
I don't know. The tanks just rolled in. I was
Okay, I
like,
got it.
Okay,
Heard it.
that's what it's like. Whoa, they just rolled out, didn't they?
Hello.
yes, hello,
Go
hello,
to
hello.
Sirach 22:3 in the NRSV.
Oh, okay. So let me try to screen share that. Sirach 22:3.
Yeah, in the New Revised Standard Version.
Okay, let me get that. Sirach Ecclesiasticus 22, verse 3.
In the NRSV.
NRSV. Got it. Let me see if I can find that version. Oh, I think I got it. Degenerate children.
You want to
Is
screen share
that it?
that, sis? Yeah, that's it. You
What
want to screen
happened?
share? Maybe you want
I'm
to
gonna
screen
screen
share.
share it. Yeah, I'm grabbing it. I'm grabbing it right
Okay.
now. Okay, but you
So
guys talk amongst yourselves.
what's your point about this, Lewis?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh my God, my computer crashed. We were talking about before you came on, brother. We were talking about the similarities between Islam and Islamic culture and Hebrew Israelite culture.
Okay.
You guys see it on the screen?
So that's it.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Verse 3. Go ahead, read that.
Okay, let me read it for you. Sirach 22, verse 3 through 5. It is a disgrace to be the father of an undisciplined son, and the birth of a daughter is a loss. A sensible daughter obtains a husband of her own, but one who acts shamefully is a grief to her father. An impudent daughter disgraces father and husband, and is despised by both. So see, right here, that's in the context of marriage. So I kind of figured that's what that meant. But you want to go ahead and touch on that? You wanted to speak on this, Yashar?
Right. So what I need to understand clearly, right, from Lewis, right, is what is the comparison you trying to make between our heritage and Ishmael?
Well, first of all, Muhammad's in the Bible multiple times, but that's a whole other dialogue.
Yeah,
It
that's
says that,
another topic.
that's one of the topics. So it says, it is disgrace to be the father of an undisciplined son, and the birth of a daughter is a loss. So it says the birth of a daughter is a loss. So the KJV scribes noticed that and added the word foolish to it in brackets, because they noticed that it said that, and it offended them. So they added the word foolish to the verse in the KJV. That's why I took you to the NRSV, because the
What does
KJV scribes noticed
right?
it said of daughters a loss and added to the chapter. Now,
What
why did they
what
do that? Why did they add to it? Because they saw that and realized what they were looking at.
they saw that what?
I don't think he can hear you.
Can you hear me?
They saw that what? The last thing you said?
Yeah, they saw that it said a birth of a daughter is a loss, so they said, "Oh shoot, we got to do something about this." We had to. So they redacted the text and added the word foolish to it. So they added the word foolish to the verse. So it should say the birth of a foolish daughter is a loss, but that's a redaction to the text. The original version says the birth of a daughter is a loss. So that's not only in Islamic
What does
culture, it's
that
also in Hebrew
mean?
culture.
Look, Lewis. What does that mean according to Ishmael and according to the scripture that you just read? What does that mean?
Okay, can we go to Matthew chapter 21, verse 43 real quick?
Yeah, I'll go right now.
Let me show what the connection is.
So while she going to Matthews, can you give us a understanding of what it means according to you, since you brought it up?
Yeah. In Eastern culture, just like in the can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Got a lot of background noise. In the Revelation talks about casting dust upon your head when you're mourning. That's actually a Middle Eastern custom. When you're in mourning or you're sad, you literally take dust and cast it upon your head. That the Muslims do that to this day. Muslims do it. Middle Eastern Christians do it. Jews do it. In the East, they literally cast dust upon your head. This is a
That's a
general Middle Eastern
Shemitic
culture.
custom, bro. Listen.
Yeah.
This is just to simply clear this up, family that's listening. What he's talking about is a Shemitic custom. It has nothing to do with the point that I'm trying to get out of him. He's not telling me
Well,
he's all over
we
the
doing
place.
that. We get to
So
that now, brother.
I'm just trying to get a simple
Yeah,
answer.
I'm
But
giving
as
you
we
that. Go to
see,
Matthew
I
20. Go
can't
to
get that
Matthew.
right now.
Go to
Right.
Matthew 21 and 43.
I'm going to do that, and then we're going to close this whole topic out. I'm not going to screen share because Shalom to Kansu. I can't
What's
because
up?
Rob might try to come back in, and I want to make sure he can get back in. So Matthew 20 what?
Matthew 21, 43.
Oh, 43. Got it. I'll just read it. You guys have your sword or your book. All right. So Matthew 21:43. Therefore I say unto you, the kingdom of Yahweh shall be taken from you and given to a nation, bringing forth fruits thereof.
Right. So the Bible, Jesus said, I'm going to take the kingdom away from the Jews and give it to another nation of people bringing forth the fruits thereof. He was talking about the Arabs, the Israelites. He would raise up Muhammad from the nation of the
You're
Arabs.
gonna have to
And he
show me
came
that
with
in
the
the
book.
scripture that's who we
Yeah,
talking about.
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
That's
but
what we're doing
that's
right now.
not true. I don't
Hold on.
even believe that, and that's not what
Hold
this stream is about, though,
on. Okay.
brother.
We want to be
So,
respectful of the sister Napah's panel, so she doesn't want to talk about that.
well, you know why? Because we're not gonna anyway, brother. Yeah, no, that's that discussion. I mean, if I'm not trying to cut anybody off. I mean, if you want to finish up your point, Yashar, and then we can move on because I know that that's not what that scripture is, but I don't want to really debate it with him right now. But if you
Right.
want to add your last two, both of you brothers get your points wrapped up, and then we're
Yeah,
gonna
if I can wrap up, right? Definitely, sister. Excuse me. Again, we talked before this. She told me she didn't want to cover this particular certain topic, so excuse me, sister. But again,
right.
this there's a book called the Apocrypha of Peter, which was taken out of the Bible at the Council of Nicaea, and it quotes this verse where it tells you that Matthew 21 is about the Arabs and Muhammad, and it's actually in the Apocrypha of Peter. But they took the Apocrypha of Peter out of the canon, so people don't know that.
Okay, Yashar, you want to respond to that, and we can move on to Kansu.
Not at all. You got it, sis.
Right, got it. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, Val, you still there? Shalom, Kansu. How are you?
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's going on? All is well.
Thanks for joining. We started talking about finance. Quite frankly, I'm not talking about that particular verse. I'm not going to argue about that, but I will say this. We were talking, the title says about, male and female issues. There are issues right there where the brother brought up a scripture to justify, or to imply women aren't as valuable, daughters aren't as valuable. So I want to move on to talking about that issue between with our people, between men and women. Not all brothers, but there is a lot of that going on where the Bible is being used to say you're not as valuable as a sister. Now, any brother can jump in and weigh in, and Val, you always can, jump in, but really that is a big issue, and we've got an example of that just by what the brother brought up. So can we move on? Let's segue into talking about that, please.
All right. Well, you gonna start with Kansu or who you gonna
You
start
can
with?
say whatever, Yashar. Say what's on your mind, and Kansu will jump in.
All right. So a lot of times we hear a lot of people talking about the sisters. They can't preach, they can't teach, right? And all this and all that, right? They need to keep their mouth shut, right? I'm not one of those brothers that stand on that, right? And let me give you some scriptures on why, right? I don't support that doctrine. Okay. So if you go to Romans 16, right? And I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but I would advise all of my sisters be encouraged to read this. And when you read this, trust me, you should be motivated to do some work and get it in if it's in you to do it, right? So look, this is what it says, and I'm gonna read a few verses. It says, I commend unto you, feed our sister, Phoebe, which is a servant of the church, which is at Centria, that ye receive her in y'all as becometh saints, and that ye assist her in whatsoever business she have need of you, for she have been a securer of many, and of myself also. So if you just look up what a secure is, she's a help. Not saying that she's his helpmate, but whatever work that he needed her to help him with concerning the work of the Most High, she had no issues with doing it. He had no issues with reaching out to her. Mind you, this is Rome. This is the book of Romans. Brother Paul wrote this, okay, who was actually commissioned and sent by the Mashiach when you go back to Romans 1. He tells you that in the first chapter, okay? So let me just read a little bit more, and then I'm going to pass it on to my sisters, okay?
Okay.
And it reads in verse 3, it says, great Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers in Yahushua. Verse 4, who have for my life laid down their own necks, unto whom not only I give thanks, but also all the churches of the Gentiles. So what we have here is our women righteous, our virtuous, righteous warrior women, laying down their lives for the righteous men in the righteous words of the Mashiach, right? Putting themselves in harm's way to make sure that the message get out. Okay, this is something that I don't hear none of my elders talking about. I don't hear none of my brothers that's leaders in these camps talking about. This is a problem, and this needs to be changed in our community. Okay, our sisters need to be encouraged to continue to do the work and to be the wisdom that we need when we lack. Right? So at the end of the day, family, when it comes down to understanding, we have to get into these scriptures and get it. All that Old Testament, Messianic, listen, if you dealing with the scriptures, you dealing with the scriptures. It ain't no half and half. It ain't no, well, I'm gonna just do this part and I'm gonna leave that part alone. If you're dealing with it, you're dealing with it. If you lukewarm, bro, you're getting spit out. You can't straddle the fence. All right. And this is the last verse I'm gonna read. Last verse I'm gonna read, sis.
Okay.
Verse 5. Likewise, greet the church that is in their house. Salute my well-beloved Apontus, who is the first fruits of Achaia, unto Yahushua. Greet Mary, who bestowed much labor on us. Salute and Andronicus and Uniah, my kinsmen, and my fellow prisoners who are of note among the apostles, who also were in Christ before me. So I'm gonna stop right there, family. This particular chapter is dedicated to our righteous sisters that did the work in the isles of the Gentiles outside of Jerusalem. So I hope that you guys take this and dig into it, see the good works that they did. Because if you actually allow the Mashiach to work with you and teach you, he's going to take you back to the Old Testament where you're going to see other women doing the same thing. You're going to see a point where we was at war, and one of our righteous warrior sisters, she was actually, you can say, the lead at this time of Yahushua. So the brothers that were supposed to go to war, they said they're not going to go to war unless she is with them. That needs to be understood as well. And that's in the Old Testament. And with that, I yield. Shalom.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that input, especially the comment about the Phoebe. Yes, sisters are valuable to there are brothers out there, as you see, that understand that. So thank you, thank you, General Yashar. Kansu, you there, brother? You want to add about, at your male perspective, like the other brothers have? Shalom to Kansu, by the way. You can hear us okay, right, brother?
Sorry, I had you on mute. I'm sorry.
Right.
I just jumped in. So in what regards are you saying the male perspective or what?
Oh well, there was a lot. I don't know how long you were a part of the panel. We were talking about the financial side of how the pandemic is affecting and the quarantine is affecting us. But then we moved into Rabbi Lewis brought up something about the value. That's why Yashar was addressing that. The value of a woman being less than the value of a man. I mean, I think that's what it is in a nutshell. Not to get back into the, getting into the actual discussion of the scripture, but my point, what you even what General Ishar was talking about is there are brothers that are teaching or pushing purporting the idea that if you're a female, you're not as valuable. I'm not saying you're over men, but you're not as valuable as the male would be. And so weigh in on that if you want.
That's kind of odd to me. I mean, I may be a bit naive. It might be the way that I was raised. I've never known that it's a dichotomy that actually believes that. I've never been around men that actually say those kind of things. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I've never known any man to equate himself as more valuable as another human being. I think being reduced to gender is, pretty barbaric and has no basis. No, there is no means, in my opinion, to devalue a woman because she's a human being. It's not just the fact that she's a woman; she's a human being, just like I am, and I wouldn't debase or disrespect another human being for any reason. So that's unfortunate. But this is the first time I've heard something like that. I didn't know that there were men that actually that were purporting this way of thought. I know that it's not healthy and it's counterproductive. I can say that.
Yeah,
I do.
Go, sis.
Okay, I do recall reading. I believe it's the Asian culture. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that when they had a female child, it wasn't disgraceful, but they weren't as useful as the male child. So sometimes I believe they would give up the female child or they would kill them. I cannot remember which one it was, but the female child was not as thought of as useful as the male child would be. So that's the only culture that I recall being like that. I've never heard it anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, if you go ahead, Kansu, did you want to respond to that?
No, because like I said, I wasn't aware of it, so I'm being educated as we speak. I wasn't aware of cultures that purported that kind of stuff. But of course, I mean, worldwide, there's been usage of sexism and the disrespect of women in many cultures. So it's just taken for granted that it's a norm, but it's definitely a problem. And it definitely goes across different cultures. I just wasn't aware of it in that acute fashion. I wasn't aware that was people actually matriculating into a lifestyle like that. I wasn't.
Right. I think she's referring to which Saint mentioned where the Chinese one child rule. Yeah, and I do know for a fact that yes, in those and like Kansu said, I think what you mean, Kansu, is you're aware of it, but it's maybe just you can't compute it. It's not a part of your world, but there are definitely. I was saying before you jumped on, there are definitely cultures out there that believe that way, and I remember my debate with Yakim the Submitter, I think it was. Yeah. It was about how women are treated in Islam in the Middle Eastern countries. I'm not talking about the brothers that are practicing Islam. I'm talking about the countries that follow Sharia law. the women are treated worse than cattle.
Yes.
So
Wow.
they're married at 8 years old, and this is 9 years old. This is protected by the Sharia law of the country. It's not just so. So I do
Can I say
know
something
that
to that,
it's
sis?
sure. Go ahead.
As far as the assertion that I'm a Muslim myself, so um, Mary, the mother of Jesus, she was 15 when she had Jesus. She was only 15 years old. And her husband was a grown man. She was only a 15-year-old kid. So take that into
Well, that
consideration.
well, I will take that into consideration. Again, I don't want to get into Bible debate, but I do know that that is not confirmed information. Shalom, Yara Nazr. Uh, that's not confirmed
That's confirmed. That's
information.
been confirmed.
But
That's been confirmed.
okay,
That's I have sources for that.
well,
Bro,
brother,
it's not a
hold that for
debate.
another.
It's not a
Yeah,
debate right now.
yeah. Let's not debate that. But I will say this: that's not 8 years old either. Okay, so 8 years old is much different than 15 years old.
Would you give your 15? I got a daughter. Would you give your 15-year-old daughter to a 50-year-old man? I'm asking you, Napah.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna get. I don't want to talk about our
Okay.
individual children,
All
but
right.
I'm just saying, let's talk about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I don't condemn, which I heard, and that's funny because Yara, Val, your husband's in the
Yeah.
chat. I remember Yara that we had a discussion. Not Yara and I, but on SVDL, we had a discussion about the group about Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and his wives, his young, the controversy. And Yara had a lot to say about that. He had a lot of detail on that. For me, I don't look at the situation like I look at the people in the Middle East, even like how they treat the women, because that was a whole different situation. And I don't think. Now this is me. I don't see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a pedophile because of the way the situation was. But I would not want my daughter to marry a grown man at 15. No, just
Exactly.
like so my point is, 8 years old is not 15 years old.
Right.
You're a sick pedophile if you're married a 9-year-old girl, and you need to be taken and dealt with according to the law.
Yes.
Right. Well, if I can say something that I don't, cut anyone off. Those hadiths have been proven to be inauthentic. The idea that Muhammad married Aisha when he was 54 and she was 9, that those hadiths have been proven to be fabricated. That's all.
But
How can you say those
those
hadiths are
hadiths have been
fabricated?
proven to be fabricated. But you
They
got
haven't, though,
the
Yashar.
records, though. You got the records to prove that Mary was 16.
No, she
Thank
was
you.
she
Thank
was
you. Don't
15. She was
No, no,
15.
no. Real quick. Those
Crazy.
were the words of Aisha herself that she was
Correct.
a
Correct.
child. So
Correct.
we're
Those are her
so
words.
now
Yeah.
so see, this is the problem with religion. With religion, not heritage, not faith, religion.
All
You're
Muslims don't venerate Aisha. In fact, my teacher and my mentor, Sheikh said
okay,
Habib,
fine.
my
Well,
teacher and mentor actually went to jail for disrespecting Aisha. They sentenced him to like 20 years, and he fled from Kuwait, and now he lives in the UK. So all Muslims don't venerate Aisha.
I believe you. Okay, and that's okay. So back to what we were saying about pedophilia. You may say Aisha wasn't 9, but guess what? In all the Middle Eastern countries that follow Sharia law, not all, yeah, all, I'm sorry, yes, all, they all say it's okay for a man to marry a 9-year-old girl. All of them. That's not even a debate. Silence, crickets. Now, can we move on to back to our people?
Yeah, it's all nasty.
Okay. Let's talk about Black people. Can we talk about Black love? And don't see, this is the problem. Let me say this. I got a lot of love for my brother Rabbi Lewis. I know he's out there sometimes, but hey, I respect everybody on this panel. I even respect everybody out there in the chat. But let me just say this. When we start trying to dip and mix, I kind of heard Yashar say something like this on the lines of this. We try to mix something else in here, then we got ourselves open. What did my grandma used to say? Now your ass is out. So let's not talk about Islam right now, because you got your whole ass out with the Sharia law in the Middle East. Let's get home to us and back to what we were talking about. Val, Kansu, somebody take this over. Your shards, somebody take it over. Let me not have to put this stream on private. Sis, it's up to you. Hello, anybody out there? Anybody out there? Family.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the rest of the panel
crickets,
go
what's
because
going
I don't wanna come with these scriptures and bore everybody. So I want the panel to go and I'll just feed off of what y'all got going.
Yeah, but it's not that it's gonna be boring, brother. I just don't. You know what? This stream was not but it's definitely not boring. So that's why I didn't want to go into Bible, Lewis, because I too will be compelled to say it'll be a stream about battling and arguing about, the lies that are being told. You know what I mean? And I'm saying we lost somebody, didn't we?
No,
Somebody.
Kansu just took his camera off.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, Lewis, get back to your finance, because Kansu's on here now. Now this is the chance to talk about your new book and what does it entail. Get back to that, Lewis. Tell us, what is your book about?
So it's an introduction to investment banking. I'm a professional stock investor. Learn how to not end up like Wayne Huizenga's company Blockbuster with one store open, right? Bad for business. Learn how to not be like the guy Roy Raymond, who started the company, the lingerie store, Victoria's Secret. He committed suicide because he sold the company for so cheap, and it blew up to become an enterprise. So he actually committed suicide because he sold the company for so cheap, a few $1 million, and it blew up. And that's a couple things you're gonna learn. It's an interesting story. Can you guys hear me?
Well, are you talking about your new book right now?
Yeah.
Your new book is about what?
Yeah, it's an introduction to investment banking.
Tell the title again.
Yeah, it's called Homework for Hustlers: Think Rich, Get Rich, an Introduction to Investment Banking. There's an interesting story from the book. There was this young kid, right? You guys have heard of GoDaddy.com?
Yes.
It's like a website for like domain names. You can buy domain names, right? You had this young kid who noticed that the Hotmail domain name was not. They didn't renew it that month, right? So they didn't pay the payment on it, right? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, but I thought you might want to.
Well, I want to finish what I was saying. Excuse me.
Oh, please. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you had a young kid who noticed. He went to GoDaddy.com, and he noticed that the domain name for Hotmail had not been renewed. So he actually bought it for $8. And the Hotmail company noticed, oh shoot, we didn't renew this month. We didn't renew somebody forgot to renew the domain name, and they took the kid to court, and they had to pay him $1 million to get the domain name back. So that kid spent $8 and made $1 million. That was pretty awesome. One of a compelling story you read from the book.
Okay, so interesting. So basically your book, what you were telling us before the brothers jumped on, is it's about it's for CPAs and what did you say? Who else? CPAs and
it's for CPAs and MBA students. That's what the book is catered towards in terms of it's a PhD level read. But it's easy to read for beginners. People are just getting started in the stock market. Like learn what a Japanese candlestick is. The difference between a green stick, a red stick, a black stick. You're gonna learn all the basics, and you're gonna learn advanced knowledge as well.
Okay, great. So the link to, if anyone dares to read and that book, it is definitely in the link. And when I say dare, it sounds very exciting, interesting. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Very interesting on a financial level.
Yeah, right, definitely. So, Kansu, what's your take on? I asked Rabbi Lewis this earlier, and I asked, I'll ask you and Yashar. I'm going to start with you, because finance is your lane. I asked Val and Rabbi Lewis, what do you see? Talk about the impact that this particular quarantine is having on the individual person. I mean, I know you don't know everybody's financial setup, but just individually, how you think it's impacting us, a short term and long term, as individual citizens in American society. Like, what's your prognosis on this too? So short term and then your long term prognosis. Like, talk to us about that.
Well, short term, it's causing inconvenience. You got to apply for unemployment. You got to get secondary food sources through food stamps, which they're issuing to just about everybody. So it's an inconvenience short term, but long term, this is going to be the biggest financial boom in the history of the world. The bailout is already at 10 trillion, and before they're finished, it'll probably hit about 25 trillion. So everyone's getting bailed out. Now's the time to invest in blue chip stock options. Now's the time to learn about S&Ps and what bull and bear. When he said red and green sticks, those are pips. That's how you read stock history. And you have the red stick, which is or called the pip, that is a bear industry, and the green stick is a bull. So you learn about the bears and the bulls. You learn which stocks are strong, and now you can get stocks at a discounted rate. So if you get ahead of this by thinking long term when it comes to investments, you'll reap the benefits later. Because now is just an excellent time to change your financial status. A lot of universities, a lot of schools are giving online degrees literally away because they can't finance you, because the banks are going to get bailed out.
Oh my goodness.
Airplane tickets are $35 and $40. You can buy a ticket now and book it for months later.
Right.
When it's lifted. So it's with being headstrong, long term, it's one of the most beneficial times in history.
Wow. I know what you said, Kansu. You hit a nail on the head for me personally, because I'm already getting now. I'm doing an online, course right now, and I'm telling you, you're right about that. Like, this is the time if you're trying to get something done as far as a degree online, better get on there and check it out. Get your I'm not trying to talk about too much of my business, but he's right. And that is so awesome. That thought is like, it's exciting.
Can
right?
I answer that?
It's an exciting time. So
Can I say something to that? Or can I say something to that?
Yeah, you can. Just let me finish this up real quick, brother. So what you're saying, brother, and I want to stay on this because this is what we need to hear. This is like a reboot for everybody. It's like a type of, okay, we're all bankrupt now. Let's just start like a reset, right? Financially. That is so exciting for so many people. Go ahead, Lewis, jump in.
Yeah, you got, like you read in my book, you got scholars like Michael Pinto who said we may be going down the road of the Hungarian Pingo. You know what the Hungarian Pingo was, right? You guys know what the Hungarian Pingo?
Explain it.
I don't know. I'm sure Kansu might know. I don't know.
You've heard of the Hungarian Pingo?
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
What is it? Yeah. Is it a secret that we can't know? Like, let us know what it is.
Michael Pinto said, if based on, Rabbi Kiyosaki just wrote a book on pension planning. You can read about my book about pension planning. Michael Pinto said we had.
How are we going to read your book on pension planning if you don't say the name of the book and tell us, where to find it?
Yeah, again, it's called Homework for Hustlers, Think Risk Givers, and Introduction
it's that same book? That's the same book.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So Michael Pinto
says, wait, real quick, Rabbi Lewis. Rabbi is ready to go. He's excited off this information. Okay, you got him going. Great. But Rabbi Lewis has authored 20 books, right, Lewis?
Yeah, about that.
Okay, so that's why I wasn't sure. But go ahead. Back to what you're saying.
Yeah, the Hungarian Pingo was the most overinflated currency in human history. And Michael Pinto said that based on the pension planning crisis, we headed down that road. Also in Germany, when everything was going on in Germany, there was a story. It was a woman who had a wheelbarrow of money because, because overinflation, she wanted to go buy some bread from the store. So she had a wheelbarrow of money, right? And when she came back outside, the people stole her wheelbarrow and left the money because of the overinflation. The money wasn't worth anything. So somebody stole her bandwagon and left the money.
Right. So like in Germany.
In
Germany when they were heating their homes with the actual currency.
Correct. Yeah. And you gotta learn about that. You're gonna learn about the brightest minds in the market like David Einhorn, Bill Ackman. You gotta learn about names like Tom Sizanoff, who from Tasty Trade, who sold Tasty Trade for I think he sold it for $600 million. There's some of the stuff you're gonna learn.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we sure do have to learn. And what a better place to start than right here on this live stream. The information that you brothers are, that everybody's bringing out is very exciting, but especially what Kansu said. Anybody who's been in financial dire straits for a while, if you hear someone who is like a connoisseur in finance, or someone who knows, an expert, and you hear them say such things as like, this is the time for you to reset your finance. I mean, for me, that's exciting. This is exciting, right? So, Kansu,
Yeah.
please give us more information on, like, okay, you gave us the basics. Talk to me about specifics that someone that I know you get paid for to do lectures and classes on this, but just give us some information on where, as an individual, if we're sitting here and we all are receiving our stimulus checks, what do you suggest we do? Do we buy? Should we take it and do anything specific if we can with that, or what do you suggest that the average layman, just in the average Joe Schmo or plain Jane, should do?
Well, firstly, the stock market is fake. Let me make that abundantly clear.
Okay.
The stock market is a farce. I'll make that abundantly clear. U.S. money is fiat, and it only has intrinsic value because we trade it for service and goods. Our economy is a capitalist economy. However, we unfortunately adopted a capitalist government, which affects our ability to entertain free market and private trade. So we can't just go into import-export. So what I'm saying is we're being forced to use a usury tax, which is called a legal tender, and that's a dollar bill. And when we use it, we're subject to taxation. So you have to create a tax shelter in order to offset the debt that you're generating, because the government is constantly printing money. Through all this debt, they keep printing money for some dumb reason. And what's going to happen is we're going to hyperinflate. So they're going to revalue the dollar. So all those dollars that you think you're getting from the stock market are going to be useless pieces of paper. You can use it to replace your toilet paper in about 10 years. That's how valuable the dollar is. So the stock market tries to sell the value of the dollar by creating platforms. But it's a thing in the stock market that's called pump and dump. And pump and dump is, if I'm a private investor, I build a platform up, I sell it and I market it. I get you to buy into it. And when enough people buy into it, I pull mines, the platform crashes, and then I take all your money plus mine. Because if you invest in a platform, you're waiving your right to reclaim. Anybody that invests in stocks know that you can lose your money. It's a gamble.
Right.
But when you have a stockbroker, what he's trying to do is to make interest off of you. So the rule of 78 applies in the stock market. So the culprit is interest. They want to make money off of you. So if you're going to trade in stock, number one is blue chip. Number two, don't get seduced by big names, because the bigger the name, the bigger the crook. Don't get seduced by that, because stock market is a gamble, and you're supposed to diversify your financial portfolio. So it's not only stock market, it's insurance and bonding, like home insurance and life insurance. You have to invest in money market accounts like stocks and bonds, U.S. savings bonds. You also want to diversify in cryptocurrency. You want to invest in that. You want to invest in real estate. If I have my stimulus check, I would invest in building a internet-based business, a business that will start with a website, optimize it through SEO, use keywords so you can get paid every time somebody clicks on your site. The average optimized site makes about $500 a month. Now, some people may not think that's a lot, but you can build 10 of those sites. 500 times 10 is $5,000 a month. So you can hedge, because when you put your money in a stock market account, you might as well walk away, because that's a long-term investment. Don't let it.
That's money that you're willing to lose, right?
Yes, and it's long-term.
That's what our 401ks are in.
Right, and you're not going to get a 401k. See,
Exactly.
the way this dollar is going, it's going to hyperinflate, and they're not going to be able to pay you retirement or a 401k. Yeah. So what you're better off cashing out your 401k, let them have the penalty, use that to create your own business. And I'm not talking about self-employed. I'm talking about a business that employs people, because a true entrepreneur trades money for time. I'm investing in people's time. My staff, I invest in their time to free up mine to build my business. being a self-employed, you just own the job. You're still a job. You're still an employee. You're just self-employed. So we just have to change the mentality around how we generate wealth, and that's what's critical about what's going on now. It's huge. It's like it's unimmeasurable. And regardless of how people feel about Trump, this is the best economy in 50 years. This economy has not been in this state in the last 50 since the last 50 years. GDP is at 3.2. Unemployment is down 20 points.
Yeah.
And it's never happened like that before. So now is the time to invest in direct sales and direct marketing and invest in long-term stocks, because stocks don't yield as well as other investments. So you have to be very careful with stocks, and you have to know the platform you're investing in.
Can I add on to that, Assist?
Of course, Rabbi Lewis, of course.
Yeah, definitely. So the cause of the 2008 crisis was Drexel Lambert, the junk bond. That was the reason why the crash happened, because Moody, not to be confused with Motley Fool, Moody is a rating agency. They were giving AAA ratings to different companies, big companies, and when they were giving inaccurate ratings. So Drexel Lambert and the junk bond is the direct cause of the crash. And there's something called the Coin Act of 1965. You guys familiar with that?
No.
No.
Okay. You can learn this in my book. All coins before 1965 contain 90% silver. So
Oh yeah.
if you have a coin before 1965, it's worth 14 times its projected value. So
wait. What did you say about the coins? The difference? Oh yeah, I know about what.
Yeah.
I know because
the coin is called the coin of 1965. So all coins before in the nutshell, the government was running out of silver to making the coins, right? To mint the coins. They were running out of silver. So all the coins before 1965 have 90% silver. So we're worth 14 times its value. Let me give you some perspective. If you have a dollar coin, silver dollar coin from 1964, now it's worth $14, 14 times its value. You see what I'm saying? So
what about also, I remember not so long ago, even in like the 90s, when those new coins came out, the gold ones, they had real gold, right? Remember that, you guys?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Nobody even wanted that, you guys. Remember that?
Right. Well, they say learning the language of coin trading is like listening to a teenager on a cell phone. It has a language all of its own, So in my book, you're going to learn about the Coin Act of 1965, where all the coins before 1965 are worth 14 times its projected value. So you have a dollar coin worth $1 from 1964. Today, in today's market, it would be worth $14. So investing in gold and silver is definitely something you should do.
And go ahead.
Sis. No. Go ahead. I'm going to follow you.
I'll say other things that we need to add collectively as Black people. I've worked for financial institutions for over 15 years. And from when I started way back when in 95 till now, things have totally changed in terms of the adjustable rates, going from adjustable to fixed. Like we have to look, since everybody is bankrupt, then now let's start building our credit. So then when we come out of this, we come out bigger and stronger. So therefore, when you look at your credit report, number one, the biggest thing that is going to take a hit is your making payments late. That takes 24 months to rebuild when you make one late payment. So therefore, you want to try to make the minimum payments on whatever you have, just to make sure, like credit cards, loans, just making sure that you're not over 30 days late. So if you can do that, along with getting a secured visa, trying to rebuild, because that is going to build your credit in a way that it's going to take a minute to do it, but in the end, it builds your score up more and more. So I was head of a loan department, and I was also the head of the cashier. So basically, I was the assistant manager, and just me looking at the interest rates now. This is the time. If you want to refinance your mortgage, do it now, because you're going to get 3%, 2.25, so on and so forth, because the banks are not hurting right now. They've already taken the money that the government gave them when real estate took a hit. So they already took that money. So they're fine. And you can make a payment late. You can, maybe not make payments for 2 or 3 months. They still gonna get their money. They still gonna have that property. They'll kick you out. So if we think about it, if we look at the Hispanics, okay, they all live under the same roof. Collectively, if we can start going back to family as it was, grandmas, grandpas staying in the house with us,
yes,
helping us raise our children, we have one payment. It's going to be at least 2 or 3 people bringing in a check that can pay that. And you can build and build and build. Keep the real estate in the family. But we have to look at our credit, because white people constantly file bankruptcy. And guess what? Before they file bankruptcy, they go get that new Mercedes. They go get another house. They go get several things that they know. They go get another boat. They go get their stuff. Then file bankruptcy and don't have to pay it back. And then we trying to figure out, how did they do that and they still have their things? Whereas we go file bankruptcy, and I don't know if it's the fee that we have to pay for the bankruptcy, as far as if we're going to file Chapter 13 or Chapter 7. We don't keep our stuff. They come in to get everything. And we sit up here looking stupid. Well, no, we need to take a little page out of their book and see what they're doing. So if you watch them enough, because they're not going to tell you, but if you watch them enough, you'll see. I see it all the time. You just have to pay attention. And if we working on our credit while we sitting at home with our families, great. And then on top of that, finishing school, so we're coming out bigger and greater, along with getting our own businesses, because you have to have way more than one source of income. We see that every day. Diddy got more than one source of income. Jay-Z got way more than one source of income. We have to have multiple streams of income to survive. So if we continue to look out for ourselves and our family, there's nothing else nobody can do to knock us down.
Anybody want to jump in on that? You want to jump on that, Consul?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I do agree with that. Credit awareness is a problem with Americans, because we're looked at, to be afraid of debt. And because we don't understand the power of collateral, we make decisions based on owning things and not understanding it's all about possession. So case in point, if I'm going to operate in credit, I need to leverage my debt. So if I'm going to leverage my debt, I have to operate corporately. So I'm going to put a house in an LLC. I'm going to put the LLC in a trust. I'm going to create a pour over wheel to pour all my ownings, possessions into the res of the trust. That'll prevent, in my untimely demise, any taxation due to probate. Now I just fixed my legacy problem. So now, then I have to address my wealth problem. So that means investing into businesses that employ your family and not people out in the street, and creating community banking. So that means using cultural practices of economics, like susu economics, where everybody pays into a certain kitty, and that kitty is distributed to each person in alphabetical order, birthday, however they want to distribute it, so that you create your own commonwealth. Because the biggest culprit to a citizen is interest. This is what motivates the bank to give you money, because they're going to make interest. That's called the rule of 78. You have to know what your ROR is based on your ROI. So that's rate of investment versus ROR, which is rate of return. Right now, stocks and real estate are going kind of hand in hand. However, you use the rule of 72 to be able to determine how long it takes your investment to double, so that you can actually assess your credit index. And your credit flow index has to be done with a simple equation. And it's a lot. I don't want to get into it too much, but it's a lot. But it's easy. And once you know your credit, your CFI, your credit flow index, you're able to know how to prioritize the debt that you do acquire. because the purpose of getting debt is to acquire collateral. So that, let's say you want to buy a house, you can use the collateral and it won't be as much encumbrance onto your credit. And when you're buying a house, you want to buy a house with cash. You don't want to buy a house completely with credit because the banks are going to use Rule 78 against you. So you want to have your credit at the position to borrow cash and leverage the interest with the cash. Case in point, a house costs $100,000, right? But you make $60,000 a year. So if you make $60,000 a year, you want to be able to put $60,000 down on that house. Don't go after the predatory loan. That is a trick to make money off of you. Don't. If you got a caught scoring the 500s, you shouldn't even be buying a house anyway. And most houses are liabilities, so they don't tell you after you buy the house everything on you is on you. And if you're not making enough income, you can barely pay the mortgage. How are you going to fix the water heater if it goes out? How are you going to fix the roof if something happens? So that means that you want to be able to get enough credit and collateral to borrow $60,000. So you're only financing for $40,000. So that's only 20% of your income. So that way you're able to leverage against the loan that you're getting. The promissory note is probably a simple ARV that has a balloon in it, somewhere in it, to compensate for your predatory loan. And that's how they make money off you. And that's how you go broke in the first 5 years of owning a house, because they know you're going to file bankruptcy or refinance. If you refinance, the typical 30-year mortgage turns into a 40 to 45-year mortgage, because they tack the refinance on the front of the loan, push the original loan to the back. So they add 10 more years of financing on you and make the money off of you. So when you buy a house, you have to know the complete fiscal responsibility. You have to put a tangible down payment down. That applies to anything you're financing. Anything that you're financing, it's all about that principal loan. It's what you put down that'll determine the math on whether you can budget around your cost benefit analysis of purchasing that house. So it's critical that you understand terminology within finance, so that you understand, because you're probably doing it already, but you just don't know the terminology. And that's what hurts people with understanding credit and how to leverage credit.
Yeah.
Wow. These are just gems being dropped out there for us, ladies and gentlemen, family, because this is information that I mean, everybody can go back and listen. You need a pen and a piece of and a pad to write down all this information. But this is valuable information. I appreciate you, Kansu and Val, and Rabbi Lewis for the financial advice. I really do. Wow. Oh, look at what No Saint said. You're trying to make me feel good right now. Look what he said. This is Sonnetter level stream. Aw. I feel so honored. Trying to make me feel good. No, because of it's because of, and General Yashar too. Bring the spiritual side. It's because my panel. This is a great panel. I do want to throw this out here, since we're on a roll. I want to talk about, since the brother No Saint did bring up the King of Consciousness streams. Right now it's a hot topic. Don't worry, Kansu. I'm going to talk about 5G, but it's going to tie into finance. Okay. Because we all know, I'm not going to talk about any spooky stuff, but on the other side, we know that this 5G, this new technological age, we're coming into something. I'm talking on the financial side. See, I'm a Gemini, so I can change hats. It's exciting, right? Because it's a new age, and along with that new age is coming. I mean, it's $1 trillion industry we're about to embark on. So add that in, you guys. Talk about that, and how not just how it's going to affect the economy as a whole. I like how both of you are personalizing it and letting us see from, oh, that relates to me as an individual consumer. So let's talk about that. I'm going to throw that out there because, we got to add the 5G in. Because the brother said it's Sonnetter. He said Sonnetter level. Sonnetter be hitting on all those hot topics. Shout out to the brother. All right, but really, really talk about that new $1 trillion industry this new technological age that we're about to embark on. What's your take on that? Anybody? Grab it. It's out there. Panel.
I don't quite understand that. I don't quite understand the question. I'm
Well,
sorry.
let me put it this way. You're saying there's so much, potential for us to reset. I find this when I hear you both talk. I hear, oh, a reset of my whole financial situation. So knowing this, when this business, because first let me read this article and then maybe you can relate. Okay, let me screen share it. All right, let me get the screen share up. Because see, when we come upon a new age, which I don't know if it was set up to be this way, I'm starting to talk like a conspiracy theorist again. But it correlates the whole reset of the economy, the new things that the new age of technology that we're moving into, because it's not just about, the brother was saying, silver and and then we're talking about assets and collateral. Let's talk about the technology that is involved, Kansu. You know what I'm talking about, cryptocurrency. Let's talk about that, Val, if you know anything about it, and Yashar and Rabbi Lewis. So let me read this article and then we can, let's move into the let's broaden our horizons here. Just let me get the screen share, you guys. So bear with me. So let me read this article first. Can you guys see it? Everybody? No? Yes? The article?
Yes.
Okay. So I just, again, this is just one author's take. It's an article from the website Business Services, Orange Business Services. So the $1 trillion race, what 5G means to the global economy. So this article goes into, let me just read the intro. 5G is set to power billions of connections and be the network infrastructure for the Internet of Things. It promises to reinvent the business world, solve problems we haven't yet encountered, and have a major impact on every aspect of our digital lives. No wonder there is a global race on to reap a global race on to reap the benefits of 5G. First, who is winning? Now, I'm not going to go into all about how the Asian countries are trying to lead. I'm going to go down right here to the economic impact, okay? So the economic impact. 5G is said to have a profound effect on countries' economic performance and GDP. In 2016, mobile technologies and services generated 4.4% of GDP globally, equating to about 3.3 trillion in economic value. This has been estimated to grow to over 4.2 trillion by 2020, or 4.9% of the global GDP, as faster mobile connectivity continues to drive gains in productivity and efficiency. Similarly, the GSMA found that mobile technologies and services generated 3.3% of the GDP in Europe in 2017, with the continent's mobile ecosystem responsible for 2.5 million jobs too. So let me see. Let me go down to this other paragraph. The importance of the potential economic impact of 5G really shouldn't be underestimated. The U.S. worked hard to establish its place as a 4G leader with an introduction of 4G mobile broadband, adding 100 billion to the nation's GDP. The GSMA has forecast that 4G connections will comprise 4 out of 5 mobile connections in North America 2020. We're past 4G now. We're about to enter 5G, higher than any other global region. Blah, blah, blah. So basically, I just grabbed that article to say, okay, 5G is a new industry. Even though we know we already know that there's a communications or a technological industry right now. This new 5G, this new 5th generation of technology is going to open up so many different prospects for the consumer, the individual, and the individual consumer, on a level that's never been seen before. We're going to have more, how can I say it? Of course, more access. I'm not just talking about communication access. This is going to be more of a, and I'm not a finance guru, but I do know that when a new industry opens up, the industry's already set, but when a new era opens up, that gives us more opportunity to and more access to financial gain. Am I wrong about that, or should I just sit down and keep listening? Anybody out there? Crickets. I'm sorry. Did I turn into what I do? Did I turn into Lewis? I think I'm in your boat now.
I'm trying to understand the direct. I'm trying to understand the direct question. I don't know what that
Well,
I mean, I can add on to that.
Oh, Lord.
Uh-oh.
Okay. No, before you do, Lewis. No, really. Before you do, no joke. What I'm saying is, automation is a new industry. Okay, let me put that up there. What I'm asking is, I'm not even saying it. I see a new potential of buying power, opportunity, not just about the regular what's out there right now. Because you spoke about collateral. Isn't there a new definition of collateral when we move into this technological age? Am I wrong? Like, don't we change our understanding or broaden our understanding on what it is, or no?
Yeah, that's correct. I would agree.
Okay, so I was just trying to, now go ahead, Lewis. You want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, if I could.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so if you do some research, every upgrade, every update from 1G to 5G, there was always a pandemic that accompanied it. Even from the introduction of
You
radio
mean
waves
an
in
outbreak,
1918,
not a pandemic. You mean an outbreak, right?
and a pandemic, also a pandemic. Like with the introduction of radio waves, you had the Spanish. That was 1918 when they first introduced the radio waves. That was in 1918. There was the Spanish flu broke out around the same time, right? When 1G was launched in 1979, you had an influenza pandemic. Then the second G launched in 1991. You had a cholera pandemic. Then 1998, 3G came out. You had another influenza pandemic. Then 4G came out in 2009. There was the H1N1 pandemic. Now in 5G, you got the COVID-19. So from radio waves all the way up to 5G, every time an upgrade happened, there was a pandemic that accompanied it, which is interesting.
Well, let's take this back to finance, though. Okay, because I mean, I can't. Again, I like to stay in my lane as much as possible. I might switch. You know how you want to go around a person, but you don't try to stay in that lane. But okay, I don't want to get too much into trying to connect five, because hey, I've done it, but this isn't what this stream is about. I'm not trying to connect 5G with the pandemic. What I'm saying is something that's undeniable, that we are embarking on a new technological age, even though people are like, well, 1G, 2G, 3G. This is an age of technology that has never been, that is really, really unprecedented. It's not like, okay, it's just an upgrade. It's not just an upgrade. We're moving into a new way of life. Let's go back to before the before the industrial age. Life was completely different. You understand what I'm saying? This is a new age. This is a new how do we say, it's a new, I guess I could say industry. It's a new industry, right? The technological industry. It's a new industry that we are embarking on. So doesn't that have like you can't even fathom the financial opportunities. Am I making sense now, or do I need to no? Yes? Anybody?
You're making sense, Napah. That's pretty basic understanding. You got digital real estate because of the boom of websites And those websites create commerce now. You have Google AdSense, you have ad payments that happen through Facebook. Facebook is an advertising company that poses as a blog entity. They make money off our blogs because they attach ads to them. Everything that has a search engine generates money. And so, yeah, that's new commerce. It's new collateral, because what would normally be basic real estate is now digital real estate. So you're making money most definitely in that fashion.
Okay.
There's definitely the new trend. Like there was something called the Meerkat app. You know, I love books. I'm a book fanatic. You know, even Mark Zuckerberg says he doesn't read enough books. Right? He's a multi-billionaire. There's something called the Meerkat app, which was an application, like an app in the App Store, like on your cell phone. But by the time the book was published, the Meerkat app didn't exist anymore. It was obsolete. So it kind of shows you how books can be outdated, and that the new social media marketing trend is like YouTube and online companies like that.
Right. So now that I for a minute there, I'm standing on my head for a long time. Y'all trying to make me suffer over here, because I'll agree. Like I'll admit, I don't know even a little bit of what I should know about, like finance, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think we all, also another thing about this situation, the quarantine, we're all pushed into finding out what we need to know, valuable things. It's like we're replacing. There was a time when people were dumping very important information out of their memory storage, like, wow, well, I got to leave some room for Real Housewives. Sorry, geometry from high school. You like dump that. But now it's like we're bringing back into our understanding, like, okay, I need to know about finance. I need to know about how basic biology 101. Everybody and their mama is on social media talking about viruses and how they work. I'm applauding everyone for that. So the positive side of that is that. But back to me, what I'm saying is, not trying to drag it too much into the direction of blockchain and cryptocurrency, because I know it is not just about blockchain and cryptocurrency, but I also know that it is about blockchain and cryptocurrency in one small facet of it. Like, this stream isn't even long enough to talk about how much the fifth generation of technology is going to change finance and buying and what we see as a value, as valuable of assets. Who's that? Is that somebody trying to chime in? Okay, so if not, let me just add this. Okay. So about the end of, I don't know, what was it, 2000? You can help me out on this, Kansu and Rabbi Lewis. I mean, maybe you too, Val, because I see that you were flexing right now. I didn't know you had it like that with the financial. Girl, I love it. I was like, superwoman. Like, my sister, super. Okay, so when did cryptocurrency rear its head with the oh my gosh, Bitcoin? Because I remember when it was like, Bitcoin's a joke, haha, and then Bitcoin was like, oh yeah, watch this. You know what I mean? So when did Bitcoin first emerge? What was that? Somebody.
We constantly going on that. I'll let him go first.
Could you repeat the question again with Bitcoin? I'm sorry.
When did we first hear about cryptocurrency and buying into Bitcoin? I remember it was around the 2000 something, like 10 maybe, because that's when I was buying stocks. I had an actual stockbroker. And
it was around 2005, 2006.
Okay, 2006. So that's when the blockchain was being set up in tandem with that, right? We were already getting our system set up for, technology is always changing. One day it's changing exponentially. So my point that I'm getting at is, when Bitcoin came about, And then we heard about, what is it called, mining, where people just sit on their computers all day, just picking up code, and that's value. That's like financial value. That has like financial value. What I'm saying is, just with that understanding, we're moving into a new era, a new age of technology. And I'll hand this over to you, Rabbi Lewis, unless somebody else wants to grab it. You brought up, well, back in 1965, the quarter had this much silver in it. Silver is always going to be valuable. I get it. Gold is always going to be valuable, but we have a new value. We have a new value now, right? And the
Yeah.
value isn't the value the the technology, the actual
Right.
cryptocurrency. So talk
Right.
about that if you know
Yeah.
anything about.
'Cause Bitcoin came from a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto. He has something called a white sheet, where they say some people say he's an alias. He's not a real person, but his name was Satoshi Nakamoto. He developed Bitcoin.
Right.
Now, the what's so part and parcel about Bitcoin is that you avoid transaction fees. Now, people might say, "What's the big deal about transaction fees, Lewis?" What are you getting at? When you go to your bank and you had a bank that's not your bank, you pay an overdraft fee. Okay, the banks in 2017 collected over $1 billion in transaction fees just from people who were going to different banks that were not their own banks. So they charge you $4 or $5 to withdraw money. The banking system had collected billions of dollars. I think over $27 billion in transaction fees. That's a staggering number. So to say, well, what's the big deal about transaction? Well, transaction fees are a big deal.
Okay, so let's go. Okay, I took it to Bitcoin to kind of micro, like compact it to like get it to us, to the understanding what I was trying to say, trying to impart myself, so more people can engage. What I'm saying is just that part of the understanding of the upgrade in the technology, just that facet, that opens so many financial opportunities in itself. Or I don't think I'm wrong. I mean, I said, I'm telling you I'm an amateur, but I still understand that.
I mean, I'll let Conch weigh on that, but if I said before he weighs in on that, there's a guy named Christopher Green. He worked at Merrill Lynch, and he's personal friends with Steve Wozniak. Steve Wozniak started Apple with Steve Jobs. His name was Steve Wozniak. Shameless plug, right? But seriously, Christopher Green, he worked at Merrill Lynch. He runs a company called AMTV, Alternative Media Television. He has the best Bitcoin course probably on the market, in my opinion. So if you want to learn about Bitcoin, check out Christopher Green's course. And I'm not getting paid to say this, so I got my own Bitcoin course coming. But anyway, check out Christopher Green's course. It's only like $300 for the whole course, and it's the best Bitcoin course you'll probably find on the internet.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's Rabbi Lewis. He's it's not reflective of my views on this channel. Because but okay, brother, great. What I'm getting at is like, okay, I'm going to stick with the 5G again, the upgrade in the tech. When I talked about people coding and mining for code, that that actually builds up their cryptocurrency, or builds up it, like they acquire more of the value of their currency, right? They are mining. It's like called mining. That is affected by the speed or whatever of the technology. They're running their computers all day long, just mining code, and they actually are profiting off of that. That's just one example that I think I'm trying to make. I mean, we can move away from it, because I'm over here like thinking I thought that was a deal. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is, but if maybe the views of our panelists they don't reflect the same views as mine, obviously everyone has their individual opinion, but I thought we might be able to discuss that. um Anyway, getting off of the subject, because I feel like I'm trying to drive that down to the ground. Getting off the subject of the actual technology being affected by the economy being affected by that 5G upgrade, and and the new tech, getting off of that and bringing it back to what Kansu and Val and Rabbi Lewis was, what they were saying about the exciting part of being able to reestablish yourself financially. Getting back to that, I think it's wonderful because it does give us hope. It gives people a lot of hope in a time, in a very dark time for a lot of people. There's a lot of death going on. There's a lot of death, a lot of illness, and it's hitting a lot of people personally, if not all of us, through just not even 6 degrees of separation. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It depends on who's being affected. So it gives you hope in a very bleak, very dark time. It gives you hope. It's like a light at the end of the tunnel. So that's the positive side, because we were talking about fear. I don't know if you guys are still there, but we were talking
Yes,
about
I'm
fear.
here.
Okay, we were talking about fear and how we need to have faith. So I'm glad that you brought up some great points, Val, when you said the thing about how we are very endurant, we endure very well. We are a resilient group of people, and I thank you for bringing up the point about this is a great time to buy and do what you need to do, Kansu. So I don't want this to drag on too long. I'm just kind of I'm winding down. I'm very long-winded, but there's always a method to my madness. I got to get it all in. But I'm basically saying thank you for bringing up these great points, because in these dark times, there's a lot of hope to have and a lot of faith to have with that hope. So thank you to my panel, my sister Val, Kansu, Rabbi Lewis. I'll let you guys each go on and just say your last piece. Val, I'll start with you. Close out, and I'm thanking you for all of you for being on. Go ahead, sis. Close out.
Hi, this is Valiyah Nazar. You can follow me on Facebook using my name, Valiyah Nazar. And I'm just very happy that even during these very hard times, we have a silver lining in resetting ourselves, our families, having all of this time with our families, being able to actually cook and have dinner with our families, being able to continue to pour into our children, having more time for our spouses and each other and our own self care. We have to find the silver lining, because anything that happens that is really bad, there's always something good that comes out of it. So we just have to find that, reinvent ourselves, see what else creative we can do, because we are a very resilient group, um, that we can find other things to do creatively that maybe even is therapeutic for ourselves to do during this time, to help our families and help ourselves and keeping our mental health intact. And, when it's time to go back in and do the work, we're that much more refreshed and able to um, do that and go at it in a very different way, because now we've kind of to a certain extent hit rock bottom in terms of starting fresh, turning over that new leaf. And I just want to say thanks to the panel. You definitely got some information that I didn't know and that I'm going to look into further, and I hope that everyone else did as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Kansu, you want to? Well, wait, Rabbi Lewis, Kansu, I'll leave you to close out at the end, okay, brother? I'm gonna let Rabbi Lewis go ahead and close out.
Yeah, Islam, alhamdulillah. Again, my name is Louis Islam, again, Rabbi Lewis. Again, it's an honor and pleasure to be on Sister Napah's show. We finally got a chance to do it. We've been planning this for a while,
Right.
I'm a public author. I'm a historian and stock investor. Check my books on Amazon.com. You want to learn about stock market and Bitcoin investing, check my book out, my new book, Homework for Hustlers, Thinkers, Givers, Introduction to Investment Banking. And I've written multiple other books on the stock market and also on catching the social media marketing trend and also on history. If you want to learn about Prophet Muhammad, and stuff like that. Check my other books out. Islam.
All right, thank you, brother. And Kansu, it's up to you, brother. Go ahead and close out and give us your last final words. And thank you so much for joining the panel. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. No doubt.
All right, brother.
Yeah, I do appreciate, the conversation. Finance is what I do. It's a passion of mine. And, during this trying time, the most important thing is humanity. And, I'm a mystic at heart. I'm a spiritualist. I don't talk about it much, but I am. And now is the time to let go of this body, let go of the mind, embrace nothingness. Look at each other as points of light and appreciate each other. This is not a white thing. This isn't a black thing. This isn't a red thing or a yellow thing. It's a human thing that we're going through. And, Mother Earth, Mother Nature is tired. We've been parasitic to this planet long enough, and this has to happen, and it will pass. So we have to be grateful. We have to show gratitude to the earth. We have to respect nature and that created us, the Most High. We have to respect that and honor that and see the light in each and every one of us. Now is not the time for debating and arguing and bickering. Now is the time to love each other. Love is going to get us through this. Love is the most powerful force in the universe to mankind, and this is what we have to adopt. So I wish peace and blessings to everybody.
Yes, thank you. Peace and blessings and much love. Exactly. Love is the key. My mother always tells me love is the key. And much love to the panel. And I did not forget about the audience. I don't even if it's 2 people or 200. I love you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening in and giving your input in the chat. You are always very, very much welcome and valued. So peace to the family out there. Shout out to all of the supporters of me and of my endeavors. And that goes for the people on the panel too, because you're my supporters. I love you. I'm virtually hugging you guys right now. Okay, group hug. Anyway, no, I'm goofy. I'm a little goofy sometimes, but no. Shout out to the family. Shout out to House of Consciousness, my brother Sonetter. And next time we will be doing Sister Sit Down on Napah Shadah with Val.
Yeah.
And who knows? We might have some special guests. Kansu might roll through, and maybe Rabbi Lewis. I doubt it because this is past his bedtime, and we'd be doing Sister Sit Down really late, right? So,
Yes,
okay.
we did.
So anyway, let me stop. All right. Thank you, everyone out there, and have a wonderful night. Sweet dreams. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, you guys. I'm trying to end my stream. I think I ended it. Okay.